Hi Blender fans, and welcome once again to Blender TC. In the first tutorial we made the pawn, in the second we made the castle, and in the third we're going to make king. So looking from the front, what we're going to do is we're going to actually select the castle, the pawn and the picture image, and what we're going to do is I'm going to move it to the 3D cursor, which is this red dotted ring in there. So I'm just going to move the center of the king, or the picture of the center of the king, G and X, just into the center like so. The reason I'm doing this is we're going to use a slightly different technique in this tutorial, and we're going to make the king a different way. We use extrude predominantly to make the actual castle and the pawn, but this time we're not going to do that. I'm just going to hide the castle by pressing the H key, hide the pawn by doing the same. Alt H will fetch them all back. But for this part of the tutorial we don't need them. So what we've done is we've moved the picture of the actual reference image. As you can see, it's only a reference image, and that is included in the first and second tutorial, and it's probably going to be in the description of this tutorial as well. So I've moved that to the center. What we're going to do, we're going to now add in, this is going to be slightly different, we're going to add in a plane this time. We're going to rotate this along the X line, which is the red line from left to right, by 90, like so. The reason we're going to do this is we're going to scale this down, and we're going to use a thing called a spin tool, but it's very useful all the same, and it works predominantly around this origin, which is the red and white dotted line. So just select this edge, X to delete, and I'm going to put vertices. What that's now done is left the line of vertices just there, and I'm going to go on to point select. I don't know if you actually noticed this, but we use the tab key to get in and out of the plane to take us onto the actual place where we can actually select line select and point select. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that point to there, and I'm going to move this point to there. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually grow these points, just making it easier to see it. I'm just going to move them slightly onto the grey just to make it easier to show you when I'm actually making this. So I'm just going to extrude like so, and I'm just going to follow this line roughly round E. All I'm doing there is E, and then I'm moving the extruded part. This is quite a quick way of actually building a model, and I'll show you how we're going to use the spin tool shortly to aid us in our design here. As you can see, select the bottom edge again, E, and just keep doing this. All I'm doing is pressing the E key in between moving this with my mouse, because we actually use the 1 key and look from the front. All I'm doing is following this round, nice and quick. Like so. That's about it. So what I did there is went out of edit mode and hit the tab key, and as you can see, we've now got a line that's going all the way around the edges from top to bottom of the king. So all we need to do is now go into edit mode, press the A key to select all, and then we hit this thing called a spin tool, moving this wheel here round like so. We'll then open up this other menu. So let me move this. We'll open this other menu up, and unfortunately that's moved that into the way, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. Just give me 2 seconds to move this like so. I'm just taking that out of the way so we can see this a little bit better. Right, so what we've got here, we've got this, and what I can do is actually set this into the number of steps I want to make, which is 32 steps, and I want this to go all the way around. This is in angles. in a circle there is 360 degrees. So pay it 360. We have now got the shape of our king roughly, and then just smooth shade, and all I've got to do now is actually hit there on the selector box, and we can carry this on as we did normally. So select line, select. I'm just going to select this bottom line by pressing the Alt key and left clicking my mouse, E and scale, E and scale. Then I'm just going to have to fill that in. So I made the actual bottom. Now I'm going to make the king parts of this, and as you can see, I'm now press the 1 key to look from the front. I'm just going to press the full stop key so I can zoom in, and I'm just going to extrude this up in the Z direction like so till it gets to that point there just below that face. E and Z just to move it up to there, E and S, left to fix, G and Z just to move this up to there. That's better. E and Z. I'm just making this rough shape. I'm just going to scale that one up slightly. Scale, just scale that. S to scale this down slightly. E and Z. And I don't quite like where the actual picture is on my looking from the front, but it's close enough. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this edge. I did Control and R just to subdivide it, S to scale it just to where I want it. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to select looking from the top by pressing the 1 key, select this face, select this face. Right, I'm just going to put that face and that face, that face and that face, that face and that face, that face and that, oops, that face, that face and that face. And as you can see, I'm selecting every other 2 faces, then missing 2 like so, and I've gone wrong up there somewhere. There I've gone wrong, so let me correct that quickly. And gone wrong there as well. As you can see, now I've got my spikes of my crown. What I'm going to do is I'm going to E to extrude in the Z direction like so, and then I'm going to scale it. Just press the scale key like so, and I've just made the actual pieces of my crown like so. And if we add a subdivision modifier into this, I think it add a modifier subdivide surface, and as you can see, that makes the actual fingers of my crown once we actually put the subdivision modifier into place. So I'm just going to knock that off for the minute because I just want to add a bit more detail up here on my crown and make a cross. I'm going to do this quite simply by selecting this top face by pressing the Alt and left clicking while on line select like so, just to actually select my face. And I'm just going to E and S, I'm just going to scale this down so it's about where E and Z, where my cross would be. I'm now going to actually make my cross, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look from the top like so and press the F key to make a face. Now that I've made a face, what I can do is actually select similar, that's the line for across the axis there from left to right. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make it 1, 2, 3. So from the center, 1, 2 up on that side, holding the shift key down, 1, 2, and I'm going to select that one as well. I'm then going to actually hit the J key, which will put a joint across this, making an N-gon. So looking from the top, select that point there, select that point there, J again. Because I had those other points selected already, I slightly messed it up, so I'm just Control Z to undo that. So just select that point and select that point, press the J key, we'll put a point across. And then all we've got to do is select that point and select that point, press the J key and select that point and select this point and press J again. As you can see, we've now got a face there, which we can select if we wish. And what I'm going to do is just make a rough cross, E and Z, E, Z, so E and Z, E and Z, E, Z, Z, like so. And I just haven't got my image lined up properly, but E and Z, but you get the idea. So I've now got pressed E and Z, and I'm just going to select that face and select this face, and I'm just going to extrude along normals. Did that by pressing the right E just to fix these up along normals, and I'm just going to extrude along normals just one more time, because putting a tight loop where we're actually going to put a subdivision will sharpen an edge. So now I'm going to add the subdivision modifier again, add the subdivision modifier, subdivide surface, and as you can see, that's made our cross. Coming out of edit mode, I think you'll agree the king is more or less finished. All I'm going to do is just actually now finish it off by sharpening up some edges, like so. Control R, scale that up slightly, Control R, move that down, sharpen that edge, and all I'm doing is getting a bit of patterning, and it's entirely up to you what kind of pattern you put on your own king. It might be that you want to select this edge here and extrude along normals, so and put a line like that. I'm not going to do that this time, I'm just going to undo it. It's entirely up to you what kind of thing you do with your king, and that's my king more or less done. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this line and just sharpen my cross up slightly, because I want to. Thank you for joining me on Blender TC in this tutorial where we've made the king. The only thing we haven't done is actually colour him in, but we can do that by just adding the two materials that we did last time and changing these. One for the white, sorry, one for the white material we used, and the other one for the green, like so. And if we go into render mode, we can just simply assign the white again. Press tab to go into edit mode, assign the white by selecting the faces you want to assign the white to, and then selecting the bottom with face select, drawing our selection so we are in a place we want to. Select the green, assign the green, and then finally, just to finish it off, press Alt H. We make all our other models reappear. Thank you for joining me on Blender TC. This is the third tutorial in this series where we're actually going to make our very own chess set. Thank you for joining me making the king. Please subscribe, and bye for now.